Engaging the attention of many in the Caribbean, where tourism remains the most important sector.
Many parts of the Caribbean have limited building codes. And in essence, as structural engineers, you have to go beyond the building codes and in essence, look to whatever international standards may be on offer and ensure that these structures are able to withstand these challenges, while at the same time understanding the economic imperative. Developers are going to demand that they want these structures done on smaller and smaller budgets.
Meanwhile, architect Mark Raymond says both architects and engineers have to reflect on their social responsibility to the public.
And perhaps we need to move to understanding the landscape we're in a more appreciative way. Understanding that we live in a delicate, a very, very delicate ecosystem that is challenged just like anywhere else in the world by migration, by climate change, by the depletion of fossil fuels. That's the world we live in, and it's having an immediate, tangible impact on where we live.
From coast to coast, the date October 1st has brought a smile 21 miles long to local fisher folk. It marks the beginning of a one-month sea egg harvesting season, the first in 11 years. These delicious urchins have thrown the local fishing community into a frenzy. It's getting ready for open season in just under a week. Today, in compliance with a Ministry of Agriculture, Food and Fisheries requirement, some were busy getting registered to be able to harvest. This family made it a priority.
I'm a lover of sea eggs, and since it's going to be open for a month, I want my sons to come and see what diving sea eggs, cracking sea eggs, well, they know what they taste like already. But I want them to experience it, you know. I want them to experience Barbadian things, as we are all Barbadian, you know, and I think my sons will enjoy it. As they love fishing already, this is just another aspect of fishing that I think my sons would enjoy.
President of the Barbados National Union of Fisherfolk Organizations, Vernell Nichols, assisted with the registration process. She's happy the ban has been lifted, but has a word of caution.
This is no opportunity where you don't have to be poaching, but fishing legal, you should be thinking of wanting to have another season coming up. So therefore, whatever you go to do in terms of diving, you should be thinking about responsible fishing and sustainable fishing for another harvest season.
These fisher folk whom we caught up with say they can't wait and are counting down the days to October 1st.
I feel proud about the ban lift because it will help a lot of people that are thieving all the time the sea egg, and it will be proud to people, and it will help a lot of us to get a little more. And it should have been lifted a little longer, but the month is good enough.
I feel a little better. Get to eat some more sea eggs. Me and my friends, everybody that who wish them, we could get some now.
I had many calls already ordering sea eggs, so I'm very happy that the ban has been lifted, because sea eggs is something that I love, me and my family.
Hopefully I will see somebody at least next week. So yeah, as I say, sea egg and white rice, that's the way to go.
I'm very proud and glad that it's been lifted, because right now my mom and I will be glad because she really loved the sea eggs. So it's a good thing that they lift the ban.
Eating sea egg is not just an experience, which will be a first time for some, but lifting the ban is also a means of livelihood for sea egg harvesters. A close call for a motorist this afternoon. Police say the man's car was parked behind the bus terminal in Oistins when it was hit by another and pushed into the sea. Police say he was in the vehicle when it went into the water but managed to escape. He was treated at the nearby Randall Phillips Polyclinic. Lawmen this evening are trying to get to the bottom of the second rock-throwing incident in less than 24 hours involving school children traveling on Transport Board buses. The incident occurred in the same place at Fairview Christchurch, where an 11-year-old boy was struck in the face with a stone yesterday as two school buses passed alongside each other. This time, one bus was transporting about 75 Graydon Sealy students heading to Bayfield, and the other bus was transporting Princess Margaret and St. George secondary students going in the opposite direction. The Bayfield-bound bus sustained the damage. Veteran bus driver Ashley Stewart recounted the event.
On my journey, as I come through, my side was blocked, and the other bus was coming toward me. So I try to make room for the driver fast. And when the bus get alongside me, I hear shut the windows, shut the windows, shut the windows. And then I hear all the commotion with the windows breaking and so on. All by a lot of water and bottles and rocks. Windows broken in the bus. The damage that I got.
Meanwhile, a parent of one of the students on the damaged bus expressed her concern.
This is her first time at secondary school, and she's very shaken up because she's not accustomed to this kind of thing. She's not accustomed to this. She's very, very, very shaken up. And honestly, you gotta get ahead into find out exactly what's going on. I'm going to go to the school tomorrow and talk to the principal and find out exactly what's really going on. Because I don't understand why war should be going on between young students.
And fruit vendor Kerwin Critchlow, who sells in the Fairview area, said after witnessing the events of the past 2 days, something needs to be done urgently.
What do these things in for this generation? 14 and 15-year-old children. It basically leg because that big rock just now and hurt me better lift up. And she pick them up like one of me mangas. You understand what I'm saying? And to be honest, them things ain't good. They need to do something about it. That be stem enough. These children start paying bus fare again. That really taxpayers. You should go pay for these buses, you know.
Well, police investigations are continuing into both incidents. We'll have more news in just a moment, but first we want to get your take on this question. Do you think the price of sea eggs should be regulated? Text yes or no to short code 8111. We'll have the results for you at the end of the news.
Dear Clark, I've made a fascinating discovery. The institutional water cooler. Its gravitational pull sucks people from their workstations at the busiest times of day to stand around it and chat about emerging global trends like, will pink be in fashion next season? Meanwhile, the world slows to a stop as it waits in line to be served. I don't see that trend at Globe Finance.
Globe Finance. Think outside the bank.
When it comes to their financial service, slow is out, swift is in.
Help support the restoration efforts of the thousands affected by Storm Erika. Donate to the Red Cross Appeal for Dominica account at any branch of the following: CIBC First Caribbean, First Citizens, RBC Royal Bank, Republic Bank, and Scotia Bank. Monies raised will be sent to the Dominica Red Cross for its restoration work for affected persons. Appeal closes on the 2nd of October 2015. Persons wishing to post checks should make these to the Red Cross Appeal for Dominica account and post to Barbados Red Cross Society, P.O. Box 300, Bridgetown. The Barbados Red Cross and commercial banks, on behalf of the people of Dominica, thank all persons and businesses for their contributions.
Make no mistake, when you're looking for the #1 source of the latest business news in Barbados, the region, and beyond, it has to be The Bottom Line, produced and presented by me, Ryan Broom, every weekday morning on CBC's 94.7 FM at 7:50 a.m. It comes to you with the kind compliments of the Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union Limited, reminding you to save smart and borrow smarter. So remember, make it your business to tune into The Bottom Line, the best source for business news on the radio.
A suggestion tonight that Barbados introduce new programs to prevent drug use and include pregnant mothers among their target audience. It comes with the discovery that children as young as 7 years old are smoking marijuana. The concern was raised by Director of the Criminal Justice Research and Planning Unit, Cheryl Willoughby. She says statistics have been collected on the drug use problem among youth. Speaking at the opening of the National Youth Week at the Radisson Aquatica, she noted marijuana remains the drug of choice for young people within the 20 to 29 age group. However, she warns they did not start at this age.
This is not anecdotal information. So when we are looking at prevention, prevention does not start at the tertiary level, which is incarceration. Prevention should start at the primary level, which should start at the polyclinics when the baby is in utero, teaching the mother about good health and good choices in terms of what she puts into her body. So it's important that we understand that we need to start a lot earlier.
Ms. Willoughby says figures from Dodds Prison show a high number of youth are incarcerated.
Between January to July last year, we had 535 males and 21 females convicted and were housed at Dawes, giving a total of 556. Those on remand were 374 males, 9 females, a total of 383. The total population back then, 909 males, 30 females, and 939 in total.
Students at the Blackman Gollop Primary School now have access to new facilities that will provide them greater access to information and develop their love for reading. The Sandals Foundation has provided the school with a fully refurbished library and computer lab. The new facilities were officially handed over to the school by General Manager of Sandals, Ferdinand Zemvinger.
You see, we are more than just a hotel, an employer, or a company. We are a social partner in every island we operate and in its projects, and it is projects like these which we take pride in establishing.
And Minister of Education Ronald Jones thanked the company for its contribution to the education system and told the students to care the new facilities.
The library and computer lab is but a gesture to your learning, and I hope that you fully appreciate this gesture. In too many of our schools, we have things that are given, things that are built by the government, and as you turn around, they are damaged, they are vandalized, they are defaced, either by children themselves or by persons in the wider community. This school is 4 years old, and I am extremely pleased to note that it has almost maintained its condition. It is still an outstanding edifice.
Students from the Lester Vaughan School have been given some exposure to maritime activities. Acting Deputy Chief Technical Officer Angela Brandon Hall says the exposure for the students is part of celebrations for World Maritime Day, where they visited the Bridgetown port.
What we are attempting to do is expose children to the variety of jobs that are in the area, and so that they can have an education about what activity of the sea is all about, what are maritime activities, and how important maritime activities are to the Barbadian public.
Well, children in Dominica are receiving assistance with their school supplies from Sela Primary School. After the passing of Tropical Storm Erica, the start of the school term was postponed due to extensive damage to schools. Teacher from Sela Primary, Glenn Burke, says when the students heard about the impact of the storm on the children, they got together to donate 500 exercise books. He says the school then organized to have the books delivered through the Coast Guard.
They were touched by the photo of the student who was standing amongst the rubble and reading her books. So the principal and the students and the other teachers decided it would be a good idea for them to send some exercise books to assist the students in continuing their education, even within the difficult times that they're experiencing currently.
And one of the students involved, Tyra Green, says the donations were collected from the fellow students to help with the effort.
Me and Faith went around for the children to put in their donations, and as we went around, we collect the money and we take it back to the head teacher, and she saw how much money we get during the 2 days that we have done it.
Such a great story. Well, still to come, we'll look at some of the stories making headlines across the region. But first, a reminder that we want to hear from you on this question. Do you think the price of sea eggs should be regulated? Text yes or no to short code 8111. We'll have the results for you at the end of the news. Now remember, you can also follow us on Twitter at CBC_Newsroom and on our Facebook page, CBC Newsroom Barbados.
When you need freedom to express yourself, there's nothing like the home you own.
Let Scotiabank open the door for you with advice and payment options that match your budget. Visit us today. Scotiabank. Discover what's possible.
My baby. That's what we have to do.
You are a romantic.
I had diabetes, and I'm still the same.
Glucerna. Thanks to its benefits that help control my blood sugar spikes and provides energy. Drinking it daily.
Glucerna, keep being you.
Do you have what it takes? Are you ready? Ready or not, Quartz kicks off the season with our unbeatable deals featuring the world's best brands. Buy any Whirlpool appliance for your chance to win a Hyundai Accent, plus win $5,000 from our pot of gold. Or get a chance to win a Samsung smartphone with the purchase of any Samsung TV. Shop with Ready Finance and pay absolutely nothing until 2016. Don't miss the action. It's game on at Quartz, bringing value home.
The Guyana Defense Force is in a state of readiness to protect the country's western border as Venezuelan troops increase their presence in that area.
However, what is unusual is the deployment of military boats with machine guns in the Cayuni River. And I wish to say that the Cayuni River is inclusive of Guyana's border. To deploy armed boats in the Cayuni River is an affront to our sovereignty.
Guyana Defense Force Chief of Staff Brigadier Mark Phillips on Wednesday updating the local media on the increased presence of Venezuela's military at the country's western border. The Chief of Staff says over a week ago, the Army was monitoring their increased presence of over 200 Venezuelan troops to bordering areas shared by the two countries. When it comes to this photograph, the Guyana Defense Force was able to confirm that the missiles seen here are in Venezuela, some 35 miles from the border at a town named El Dorado. Brigadier Phillips says Guyana's military remains ready should there be any act of aggression as the Army continues to monitor the situation, especially in the Cayuni River.
And we remain ready to deploy additional troops and equipment, if need be, to those locations. Our troops at Base Command Stevenson Temeri, our troops at Camp Paengano, and our troops at other coastal and inland training locations were already briefed, already alerted, and remain in a state of readiness to support our activities on the border.
The head of Guyana's Defense Force says Guyana has settled the border controversy with Venezuela many years ago, and the Army's duty is to defend and protect that settlement. Minister of State and Defense Secretary Joseph Harmon said that government has already taken steps to alert the United Nations, CARICOM, UNASUR, and the OAS on the recent actions by Venezuela. Harmon believes that the current military display by Venezuela may be politically aligned.
And so it is a matter which is of tremendous concern to the President, and he has given some clear directions as to what our response will be. Clearly, he recognizes that there are political considerations and there are strategic considerations for this build-up of troops on our border, and it is a matter which, of course, will be aired at every fora where Guyana is represented.
Guyana's government has not taken a defense position, saying the country is not being threatened with the use of force by Venezuela.
Meantime, Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro has extended an invitation to Guyana's President David Granger to a one-on-one meeting ahead of addressing world leaders at the 70th UN General Assembly in New York on Tuesday. A statement from Venezuela's Ministry of Foreign Affairs says the president extended the call to Granger to facilitate a meeting in which they can find a positive way to clear obstacles in relations between the two governments. The state-owned Guyana Chronicle newspaper says the statement dated September 22nd was issued on the same day that the government of Guyana Venezuela border and on the Cayuni River. Sports news is just ahead, but first, here is a tip from Cooperators General Insurance.
This tip of the day is brought to you by Cooperators General Insurance Company Limited. Insurance the way you want it to be.